Hello everyone and welcome. My name's Lainey and this is Big Girls Really Do Cry, and welcome to Pictures of the Month, or Photos of the Month I should say. So as you can see, I've just put into flower pictures to start. It's lovely to see all the flowers back out with it being spring, and moving on to this picture of a blackbird. He I think he's only got one leg. I'm not completely sure unless he had the other leg pulled up, but I couldn't see it, bless him. And then move on to Mr. Robin. It seems like Mr. Robin, who used to come to my bird feeder, has disappeared, and I spotted this one in Mowbray Park, just sitting on the rock there, but mine is on. Moving on again, this is a moorhen. I was watching him and kind of had the "Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting" playing in my brain at the time he was doing his stretches, but that's just what it looked like to me. So I went with it because, you know, why not? So moving on again, and this is a male tufted duck. Excuse me, a male tufted duck. I just like looking at the reflection in the water. Some of them are better, but you can really see his tuft, and you can see the iridescent colours in his feathers. Yeah, this one shows a better reflection in the water, and the squint of his eye, where I think the sun was getting on his nerves a bit, maybe. But yeah, excuse me, I seem to be like swallowed a frog. Yeah, I took this one because the wind was blowing up his tuft, and I just sort of made it like more obvious that he was tufted, I guess. Actually showed it being blown in the wind, which I thought was really cool. And then in the last picture coming up, you could really see the purple iridescence on his cheek there. So I kept it just for that reason, the reflection of the light hitting that iridescence. And you can also see green and blue and other colours in it, which is really cool. And this one is his missus, or the female tufted duck. So unlike the male, she's not black and white, she's more sort of brown and brown. brown and brown. So yeah. But again, I loved the reflection in the water, and it just really stood out, including the little white patch she had on her side. And then I managed to get this close up of her. I didn't realise how sort of bluey grey that her beak looks, but yeah, and that the brightness of that sort of yellow, it's kind of a yellowy orange, isn't it, the eyes? And it couldn't be March photos of the month without some crocuses, could it? So these were obviously purple and white crocuses. There was also some yellow ones there as well. Very, very pretty. This is a little wren, so also known as a Jenny wren, but I can't tell whether it's male or female, but it was just having a right sing-song sitting on the fence, and I managed to get a couple of pictures of her. Very cute. And then we'll move on to this one, and I actually caught this photo mid-yawn, so the seagull was actually yawning. However, I've shared this photograph and people have said that maybe he's singing, or maybe he's arguing with his missus, or etc., but who knows? I thought it was yawning at the time. Sorry about that, I just paused a second to try and clear my throat properly. Hopefully it worked. Now, this is Clive the crow. He's the one who sneakily pinches things off my bird feeder. Well, I'm saying he sneakily does it. He doesn't. He does it on purpose. There's no denying it. He was looking up at the pine cone feeders that my lovely friend Ashley and her mum made, who is Crafty Seas on YouTube. So go along and sign up and watch. She makes all sorts of lovely crafting things. But yeah, he was looking up at the bird pine cones that were there, and then I managed to get a close up of him, and you can see the rain as well. I just love his face. I think he's really cute and full of mischief, and yeah, I can't help but love him, despite the fact he nicks my stuff. And then on this one, he was all fluffed up. They apparently do this when I don't know. It's if it's to do with breeding and stuff, because there was another crow there at the time, and you assume it was his missus. But also, I think they do it to clear off bugs off their feathers as well. Anyway, moving on to this little blue tit. I thought this was really cute. It was kind of like he was looking in. It was like, "Hello, anybody home? Do you mind if I nick this as my home, maybe, or whatever?" I don't know. Or maybe it was he'd been out for the night, and he was just coming home, and he was looking to see where his missus was, to see if he was going to get rang instantly. Or whatever, I don't know. I also went down the river at one point. Wasn't the brightest of days, but there was a lot of cloud. But I managed to get this picture of the bridge, and also got the nut or bolt. No, it's a nut, isn't it? That, yeah. In the frame. I was trying to be a bit arty, but it weren't quite working. Again, just another one trying to be a bit arty, taking a picture of this boat, which is called Debbie G, whoever Debbie G is. She got a boat named after her, I guess. And then we move on to the cormorants. So I got a few pictures of these cormorants. Now, if you'd have watched my day in the life, you'd have known why his wings were out, because he was drying his feathers. Unlike other birds, other water birds that is, they are not waterproof. Their feathers aren't waterproof, so they have to dry them. So they hold their wings out like this, and sort of air dry them, which is pretty cool to watch. Must ache their I was going to say ache their arms, but ache their wings. Also, this is a breeding change for a cormorant. So in breeding season, the change and they go like this grey. I'm assuming it's only the males, but I'm actually not 100% certain on that. So don't quote me. But they get this sort of grey head crown sort of thing. And like I said, I think it's only the males, but don't quote me. Again, this was me trying to be a bit arty, so I took this photo between the railings. The cormorants are actually either inside of the boats, or the pictures of the cormorants I took are actually in there as well. The two cormorants, but yeah, I was trying to be arty. I'm probably not really that good at being arty, but hey, you know. And then again, this was just the cormorant air drying itself. Because of the distance, the images are never great to get, but you know, I did what I could, and it's not too bad considering the distance I was at. Now, this is part of St. Peter's sculpture trail, and it's a pile of books, obviously, and it's to do with like the university in St. Peter's and Bede and all of that, but I don't know loads. Anyway, in the docks, this boat was there to carry a boat like for shipping bulk items or whatever. It's called the Ada Pearl, which I'm not sure if you can see that, but yeah, I just thought I'd take a picture. And in front of this boat was this guy sitting on one of the posts. Now this is a black-headed gull, which is weird that they're called black-headed when they're actually brown-headed, but still. And also, these go completely white in the winter, sorry. So they lose their black head, which is kind of strange. I was trying to get some, in this picture, I was trying to get some wave pictures. There wasn't that much wave, as you can see. And this was kind of the best one with the gull there flying. again, it's nice to see some colour again with the flowers back out. I spotted this. I have no clue what kind of plant it is, what kind of flower it is, but it was in the park and I just liked the yellow, and so I took a picture. Moving on from that, we have this little guy. So this is a pied wagtail. He was just parked on this little rock on the side of the bank, and I thought, oh, I'll get a shot of him, and I did. And I think he's getting these breeding colours back, because I believe that they're a lot more darker in the winter, just given the pictures I've got. And then we move on to Mrs. Mallard. She was sleeping, and I managed to get a couple of pictures. This one, she obviously was watching me kind of side-eyed, and there's a tiny spot of water on her head. And then this one where she'd moved off the wall down onto this bit, and still watching me. But yeah, managed to get a couple of nice pictures anyway. And then moving on from her, we have this shot of Jacob. So Jacob is the swan left on Roker Park, and you can just see the water dripping from his beak there. He'd been all fluffed up, chasing the gulls and the ducks away, because someone was feeding them, and he was happily getting all the food and not sharing, bless him. But I really liked that picture. Moving on to someone else getting all the food. Mr. Squirrely, he was digging up in random places and must have had stuff buried, because he pulled out what I think is a peanut. So he must have buried it previously and remembered, and then he was just standing there eating it, and I managed to get a shot. On the way back from Roker Park that day, it was like sort of 5ish at the time, and you could start to see the moon, so I managed to get the shot of it, but not as good a shot as I'd like to get. I'd really like to get a decent night shot, but it's time and all that. Again, this was back in Mowbray Park, and I'd seen a bee, and I tried to take a picture, but the pictures weren't very good, and I really liked the contrast of the plant alive and the plant that is dying. So the flowers that are dying, the flowers that are thriving, type of thing. I liked the contrast of it. Again, another Mrs. Mallard. Now she was in Mowbray Park this time. Bless her, she was being chased all over by the males, because it's that time of the year, and yeah, it's pretty brutal to watch, but bless her, she managed to escape this time anyway. And this was on the tree outside of my house, so it was taken through my window onto the tree, and the sun was coming down, and there was quite a few birds on the bird feeder, so he'd gone up onto the tree waiting his turn supposedly, and while he was, I managed to get a couple of really nice pictures with the sun going down. So yeah, I lightened one a bit more than the other, as you might have noticed, just to give it more of an effect, but I just like the effect overall, so I was really pleased with that. And then moving on to this guy, this is me, sleep eating. But this collared dove just looked happily eating in his sleep, which I kind of blame him. Now, moving on. Greenfinches. So this is a male and female greenfinch. So the female is on the top, male is on the bottom, and the only way you can tell them apart really is the fact that the male is more green, where the female, although she does have bits of green, she's more of a browny green, maybe more of a khaki green, khaki brown, khaki whatever. So this is a male. I took some shots of them separately, and you can see the brightness of the green and the difference between the male and the female. Now this is the first time I've had greenfinches on my bird feeder, and I had 5 of them all together at one point. There was 2 males and 3 females. They're slightly bigger than the goldfinches. Again, this is the male, and also this one is a male. And again, like I said, slightly bigger than the goldfinches, but you know, perfect really. And then this is a female, so you can see it's maybe more of an olive colour than a bright green, where he's more bright green. And then again, another female, and she's just sitting on the edge of the basket waiting her turn, I think, at the time. Although they tend to chase the goldfinches off anyway, because they are that slightly bit bigger. And this is like another picture of her, but a back view, so you could see exactly how the back looks, which is really pretty, isn't it? And then another first is I had a male chaffinch on my bird feeders. Now, I took photos of the male chaffinch before, but never had them on my bird feeders, and so I thought I would take a couple of shots. So I've got this one here, and then this one here where I'm turning there, and again, they're much more distinct than the female, as the female's much more brown and muted colours rather than this bright sort of peachy red colour. That's really pretty. And I took this one of them in Mowbray Park, and this is the last of the photos. So thank you to everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I will add another video to the end thing, end shot, and if you haven't if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. Other than that, thank you very much. Bye bye now. Bye bye.